Well, first of all, congratulations on the CCiCap contract that you guys have gotten.
We're very excited about it.
So can you tell us a little bit about what some of the milestones are for the CCiCap round?
Sure, there are many, but I think the two directions that the milestones go is that we're going to do a series, we're going to start flight testing in the vehicle, actually flying it and begin the long testing process to make sure that it's safe and reliable and reusable. So it's a lot of hardware to make that happen. And the second path is to get all the things ready to get to what we call critical design review, or the major certification parts of the vehicle, so that you have all the documentation and you know exactly what the design of the vehicle is going to be, and we can lock that down. So everything falls in basically one of those two categories.
Wonderful. Have you guys completed any milestones yet so far?
We have. We finished our first milestone, and as we speak here in October, we're about to conclude or go into the process of finishing our second milestone by the end of the month. So the program is well underway and on schedule and moving forward.
Wonderful. Now, are you guys working on these milestones incrementally, or do you have working on multiple milestones simultaneously?
No, there are multiple milestones. Sometimes a milestone might take months to get ready and finish, and we have teams that are focused in on different aspects. If we're testing the rocket motors, that's a group of people. If we're working on the strength of the vehicle, that's a group of people. If we're doing all the documentation that's necessary, that's a group of engineers. So they work together, but they're also moving milestones forward simultaneously across the board.
Now, do you have any sort of ballpark figure as to when test flights may begin?
We're expecting to start autonomous testing of our vehicle in early 2013, so just a few months from now.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Absolutely. Now, do you guys have test pilots or any sort of certification processes that you need to go through before pilots can be used?
We're one of the things I think we're super fortunate about is that we've been able to attract some of the very best people in the industry to our program, and people who know how to do this. And that's how we're able to move so quickly. The test flight program, for example, is being directed by a guy by the name of Steve Lindsey. Steve is a major figure in the NASA history. He's been a 5-time shuttle pilot and commander, and he was chief of the NASA astronaut office. And his job as our director of flight test is to build not only the processes for testing, but also who's going to be testing and how do we qualify people. And there's really no better person in the world, having over 1,000 hours of flight time in space and thousands of hours piloting as an Air Force test pilot. He understands the process better or as well as anyone in the world. And we're fortunate to have Steve and people like Steve in each of our critical positions leading us.
Now, have you guys begun any sort of work on the interstage between the Dream Chaser and the Atlas V?
We have. We've been doing that for a long time. We were actually the first company to start doing commercial work with United Launch Alliance, even before they were formed as a company. So our long history, very positive history as a partners, is now into its 5th or 6th year. As part of that, we did things a little differently. We decided to look at what are the most difficult things of the program and try to do them first. And the idea there is that if we couldn't do this for some reason, there's no point in us putting a lot of our own money and effort into it. So one of the most critical things was, could we mount the Dream Chaser on an Atlas and make it work? And that includes the connecting mechanisms that will allow the Dream Chaser to be integrated on the Atlas. We call it Launch Vehicle Adapter, and it's something that's already been designed. It's starting to be worked on, and all the not only the hardware but all the software and the connecting points is something we've been working on for years. And while there's a lot of work still to be done, we have a path forward on how to do that. We have a pretty clear view that it's entirely possible to make that happen.
Now, when you guys do, after all the sort of drop tests and things, what sort of abort tests will you do before actual flights can begin?
Yeah, we have a very robust safety program, not only with a lot of flights, but also with testing all the individual elements, and that includes a ground abort test and being able to demonstrate that we could fly off of a pad and land on a runway, as well as doing in-flight abort tests that would show us that one of the great things about our vehicle is that we have what's called no black zones. So from the point of launch all the way to orbit, we can do an abort and do a safe abort to a runway landing. and that's unique amongst all the providers.